Okay. Alright guys, today is the day that I finally get to show off my cup collections. Since the first day that I started making coffee, not at home, at work, I had this obsession of collecting different type of cups. So today let me show you what I have. Alright, so this is probably the first series that I get from MK Studio. And these two in the middle, I actually got a friend to hand carry back just from Copenhagen itself, and I use it for my nationals. So it has this like super thin rims. It's actually a bit scary to use it because it feels very fragile. So I stopped using it after a while because I'm very afraid that I will break it. But what it actually does, right? Because the rims of the cup will actually influence how you perceive the body of the coffee itself. So the thinner it is, you actually feel that the body is lighter as compared to something that's a thicker rim. And of course, the diameter actually plays a huge influence because it will decide how the liquid will travel into your tongue and which part of the tongue will the liquid hit. And that will influence how you perceive the body of the coffee, whether is it light, medium or heavy. So I will never use this for milk beverage. This is what I have got for milk beverage. Here you go. So in contrast, I like to use cups with very thick rims for milk beverage. Reason being because I feel that a good milk beverage requires it to have at least a medium to medium heavy body, very creamy. So what I'll pay attention to would be how thick the rims are, because the thicker it is, when it sits on your lip, it's actually heavier. That will actually change the perception of the body itself. And very important, I will always choose cup that has very smooth finish, because if you are holding on to something rough, that will actually also subconsciously influence how you perceive the texture of the coffee itself. So these two cups are what I really think is great. So this one is from Cone number 9, ceramic maker from Bangkok. And this is what I got from La Cabra, I think in last year after the nationals. Very heavy. So the weight of the cup itself also actually decides the perceived value of the cup. So if you're imagine holding to a very thin cup and something heavy, right, you'll perceive it as something more valuable, of a higher value. So these will also determine how your customers or how you actually perceive the value of the coffee itself. Oh yeah, another thing, when it comes to the colors, okay, my favorite color is definitely not pink. I'm not a pinker kind of person. But I like to use pink when it comes to coffee, because pink actually will subconsciously associate with sweetness. Well, something more neutral and white will give us a very neutral mind when we approach the coffee. So in contrast, I'm serving coffee, filter coffee, with these two colors. If I serve in a white cream-like color and something in the black one, even though it's the same coffee, but we will actually perceive the body of the coffee to be much heavier if you are using a darker color. I just imagine putting coffee right into this cup for now. It will taste extremely different. Of course, we'll be influenced by the weight of the cup, but more importantly in this case, right, the color actually plays a huge factor. This is probably one of the most expensive cup that I've ever bought in my life. This is from Magnolia Mountain, hand-blown glass, and my hands are kind of trembling while I'm holding onto this glass because it's so expensive. I'm very worried that I'll break it. So once again, it becomes a collection. I don't use it. What the fuck? Because I'm very clumsy and careless. But in this case, what it actually does when you're using a glass to drink, it will actually influence the texture of the coffee itself, or the perceived texture of the coffee itself when you drink it, because of the uneven texture. Well, it would be very nice if you have a very well-roasted geisha served in this glass, because you get to see the very nice reddish brown kind of coffee liquid. So it's very pleasure to the eye when you serve a coffee in glass cup. I also buy cups if I really like the coffee brand a lot. Two of these from Go Get Them Tiger. They are from US because I really like Charles Babinski. He's one of my first few coffee idols when I started in coffee. So when I get the opportunity to go Boston when I competed in 2019 for the World Brewers Cup, I actually flew all the way to LA, it's the other side of the states, just to visit his shop. And of course I need to get a souvenir. Personally, I don't really enjoy drinking coffee from these cups. Okay, there's a few reasons. Okay, first thing first, me being very careless, I actually dropped this enamel cup on the floor. So this is what happened. rough surface. But well, of course we can drink from the other side, but it's always too hot. Like, because the heat will actually transmit and travel to the top part, and it becomes so hot, and you really have to take a while before you can start drinking from this cup. But it's very good for traveling because unbreakable. And then this is their ceramic cup. But there's something that personally don't really like when it comes to coffee, for filter coffee especially. It's how the shape actually bend. So these will actually affect how the liquid travel to your tongue. So what happened is, this is actually, it's not a very nice and smooth curve. So what happened is, when the liquid travels and heat almost to the end, it has a small bumpy kind of thing, and it doesn't flow nicely onto your tongue. So it actually influences how you perceive the coffee as well. And the other one, I do use it, is another coffee place that I really enjoy many years ago, because I haven't yet to try their coffee for a long time. It's from Workshop Coffee. So Workshop Coffee is from London. I remember many years ago when I get to travel to London or UK for a month, I had a very memorable coffee from them. It was Kenya or Kagutu AB. One of the best experience that I had. It was nothing out of the world. It's not a complex cup of coffee, but it was just so enjoyable that I can remember for a long time. So yes, this is it's actually a glass. It's made from Kinto. So yeah, they have a very interesting logo. Let me explain. So if any one of you actually does roasting, you realize there's a roast curve, right? And then there's also a water droplet, so that's when you brew. And then there's like a shape of like a mountain. So basically you sauce, you roast, and you brew. So this is how their logo come about. Then getting cups from like Copenhagen as well as from Magnolia Mountain in Australia, I also explore and start to look for other ceramics around the world. So this is from Czech Republic. It's called Biscuit. So yeah, this one is also a very neutral cup. You can use for both milk and for filter, I guess. Then actually this is one of my favorite cup. It has a very nice blue greenish kind of tone to it. Is it greenish? A little bit. You have to take a very close look, then you can see. So this is also from MK. So I actually have a lot of cups from MK. Most of the time, if given a choice, I always use this to drink my filter coffee. It's about, I guess, 100 to 120-ish ml. So let me share with you. Okay, in general, there's different types of profile of coffee that you can get in the market. And let me share with you what kind of cup will actually fit what kind of coffee. So if you have a natural processed coffee that is very funky and you enjoy very much the body, but you feel that the flavors are a little bit too compact and too complex, you can actually use a very thin lid cup. In this case, I would actually recommend something like that. What this actually helps is, first thing first, it has a wider diameter. And with a wider diameter, right, the liquid will be spread out nicely all over your tongue. And when you drink, you also have to consider the angle, how much you have to tilt your head when you drink. Okay, one good example you can always refer to is the champagne flute. Why is it designed in a way where it's so narrow? Because when you drink, you have to tilt your head very much towards the back, and the liquid will actually hit the back of your tongue instead. So this one, it will hit the front part and probably the middle part, unless you only have a little bit of the liquid left. So the amount of liquid you want to serve in your cup will also determine how the coffee will taste like. So these would be actually very good cups. If let's say you do not enjoy the complexity of the coffee, you feel that there's too much flavors and you do not want it, you can use this. But if you do enjoy the body, I would recommend something with a thicker rim, like this too. So these will actually help to enhance the perceived body of the coffee itself. So if you are looking to get a cup that will fit something that's very floral, tea-like, vibrant, lively acidity, I recommend you go for a cup that has a very nice bend. So these will actually help to highlight the acidity in the cup. What I suggest you can do at home, go to your kitchen, find a few different cups that you have, brew yourself a cup of coffee, pour them into different cups, and actually you will realize that all your coffee actually would now taste different. Alright, so having different cups and with the knowledge of different colors and different shape, different finish, thickness of the rim, the diameter of the rim will actually help you to decide what cups will be the best for your coffee. So I hope this helped you. Thank you.